Hello, boys and girls. In lesson 4.1, we will be looking at the coordinate plane. We will be able to plot points on the coordinate plane by starting at the origin and moving throughout the quadrants. Let's begin by looking at a few definitions. The coordinate plane is a representation of points in space in relation to the reference lines, the x-axis, and the y-axis. Your axes are the lines on the coordinate plane. The x-axis goes from left to right, and the y-axis goes up and down. An ordered pair, or coordinates, is a set of two numbers represented by your x value and y value, otherwise known as xy. For example, the point 2, -3 tells me I move across the x-axis to +2 and then down the y-axis to -3, giving us the point 2, -3. The origin is where the two axes meet at the coordinate 0, 0. So this is the origin. Let's label the four quadrants of the coordinate plane. The first quadrant is in the upper right-hand corner. This quadrant consists of values that are positive for x and positive for y. The second quadrant is in the upper left corner, and they represent values that are negative for x but positive for y. Moving down to the third quadrant, in the bottom left-hand corner, is quadrant 3. The values of quadrant 3 are negative for x and negative for y. Finally, the last and final quadrant is the fourth quadrant. The values in the fourth quadrant are positive for x, but negative for y. As you notice, the quadrants begin in the both positive values and move counterclockwise. Let us explore the quadrants or the axes where each point would be graphed. Let's begin with the first point A. When we graph the point -4, -3, we begin in the origin and move in a negative direction for -4 along the x-axis, so 4 spaces to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in a negative direction, 3 spaces along the y-axis, 1, 2, 3, giving us this point for A, which is found in the third quadrant. For point B, the first value tells me I am not moving from the origin for the x value. Therefore, I am not moving left or right. The 3 tells me to move 3 spaces in a positive direction along the y-axis. 1, 2, 3. Therefore, this point lies on the y-axis. The point for C, when beginning at the origin, tells us to move 3 spaces right and 3 spaces down, giving us this point C, which lies in the 4th quadrant. The point for D tells us to move 1 space to the left, but that 0 tells us not to move vertically, therefore giving us point D, which lies on the x-axis. The point for E, when beginning at the origin, asks us to move 5 spaces to the left, then 2 spaces up, giving us point E, which lies in the 2nd quadrant. Finally, in point F, we are told to move 7 spaces to the right and 5 spaces up, giving us point F, which is in the 1st quadrant.